portal made a soft zipping sound as it closed, and then the sound cut off instantly, leaving Goku and Vegeta in a silence so deep it felt like their ears were stuffed with cotton. They were standing on nothing. There was no floor, no ground, no sky, and no horizon. Everything was just a blinding, endless white. It was brighter than the hyperbolic time chamber, and the air felt different. It did not feel like air at all. It felt like they were breathing in nothingness. Vegeta looked around frantically, his eyes darting left and right, but there was nothing to see. There were no landmarks. There was no sun to tell the time. There was just him, Kakarot, and the little future Zeno. Vegeta looked down at his hands. They looked normal, but they felt heavy. It was not gravity. It was the weight of the place itself. This was the void of timelessness. Goku took a deep breath, but it didn't satisfy his lungs. He looked at Vegeta. "Can you feel that?" Goku asked. His voice didn't echo. In a normal room, or even outside, sound travels and bounces off things. Here, the sound just fell out of his mouth and died. It was very unsettling. Vegeta nodded slowly. "It feels like we are underwater, but we are not wet," Vegeta said. He clenched his fists. "The energy here is strange. It is completely still. In the real world, energy is always moving. The wind blows, the grass grows, and the planets spin. Here, nothing moves unless we move it." Future Zeno floated up between them. He did not look scared. He looked like he was home. "This is my secret place," Zeno said. "The silence is nice, isn't it? The outside world is so noisy. Here, you can hear your own thoughts very loud." Vegeta scoffed. "We are not here to enjoy the quiet. We are here to get stronger." "How does this work, Zeno? You said 1,000 years in here is 1 second out there. Does that mean we have to wait 1,000 years to go back?" Zeno nodded his square head. "Yes, you cannot leave early. If you open the door before the time is up, the time inside will crash into the time outside, and you might get erased. You have to stay until the cycle is done." Vegeta's face turned pale. He looked at Goku. "Kakarot, do you understand what we have done? We are trapped here for a millennium. 1,000 years. We will forget what our families look like. We will forget the taste of food. We will go insane." Goku looked serious. He sat down in the lotus position, floating in the white void. "We won't go insane, Vegeta. We have a goal. Every time you feel like you are losing your mind, just think of the Grand Priest. Think of what he is doing to our universe right now. Think of Bulma. Think of Trunks. Use that anger. Use that fear. Turn it into power." Vegeta stared at Goku. He had never seen Goku this focused before. Usually, Goku was relaxed and goofy, but the defeat by the Grand Priest had changed him. Goku had realized that being strong wasn't enough anymore. They had to be something else. They had to be absolute. Vegeta gritted his teeth and sat down too. "Fine," he grumbled. "But if I start talking to myself, don't say anything." Meanwhile, in the world of Void, the situation was a nightmare. The Grand Priest was floating above the shattered remains of the tournament arena. The angels were defeated. Whis was on his knees, holding his chest. His staff was broken in half. Vados was lying on a rock, unconscious. The other angels were scattered around, unable to move. Jiren was face down in the dirt, his energy completely gone. The Grand Priest looked at the giant black ball of destruction energy in his hand. It was pulsing with red lightning. It was beautiful, in a terrifying way. He looked at Whis. "You disappoint me, my son," the Grand Priest said. "You chose mortals over your own creator. You chose chaos over order. Now you will watch as I correct your mistake." Whis tried to speak. He coughed. "Father, please, this is madness. Zeno, the true Zeno, will not allow this." The Grand Priest laughed. "The true Zeno is gone. I am the law now, and my first decree is the erasure of Universe 7. He threw the black ball. It did not move fast. It moved slowly and heavily, like a giant planet drifting through space. It headed straight for the direction of Universe 7. It was so big that it pushed the floating debris out of its way. The Grand Priest turned his back on the angels. I will go ahead to prepare the ceremony of destruction. You can stay here and rot. The Grand Priest vanished. Whis watched the black ball moving away. He tried to stand up, but his legs failed him. He looked at the other angels. We have to stop it, Whis whispered. Korn, the angel of Universe 8, crawled over. We cannot, Korn said. Our staffs are broken. Our connection to the angelic power is severed. He has stripped us of our status. We are no different from mortals now. Whis shook his head. No, we still have our life force. We are still beings of light. Whis closed his eyes. He focused on the last spark of energy deep inside his soul. He was not going to let Goku's home be destroyed without a fight. Back on Earth, the sky began to change. It was a beautiful afternoon at Capsule Corp. Bulma was sitting in the garden, drinking tea. Bulla was playing with a toy robot on the grass. Suddenly, the blue sky turned a sickly shade of purple. The clouds turned black. The birds stopped singing. The wind stopped blowing. It went dead silent. Bulma put her teacup down. Her hands were shaking. She had seen the sky turn dark when Shenron was summoned. But this was different. This felt evil. The air became cold. Bulla started to cry. Mummy, I'm scared, she said. Bulma ran over and picked her up. It's okay, sweetie. Mummy is here. At the lookout, Piccolo was standing at the edge, looking down at the world. He felt it before anyone else. A pressure so immense that it made his knees buckle. It was coming from space. It was coming fast. Dende ran out of the temple. Mr. Piccolo, what is that? Dende screamed. Piccolo's face was covered in sweat. It is him, Piccolo said. The Grand Priest. He is here. Piccolo reached out with his mind. He contacted every warrior on Earth. Gohan, Goten, Trunks, 17, 18, Majin Buu, get to the lookout now. This is not a drill. The enemy is here. Gohan was at a university conference in a city far away. He was wearing his glasses and a suit. He was giving a speech about biology. Suddenly, he stopped talking. He dropped his microphone. The students looked confused. Professor Gohan? One of them asked. Gohan didn't answer. He felt the cold pressure gripping his heart. Dad, Vegeta, they failed. Gohan ripped off his suit jacket. Underneath, he wasn't wearing his guy. He didn't have time to change. He ran to the window and jumped out. He flew into the sky, creating a sonic boom that shattered the windows of the lecture hall. He flew as fast as he could toward the lookout. Within minutes, the Z fighters had gathered. Gohan landed first. Then 17 and 18 arrived. Then Goten and Trunks flew in, looking terrified. Majin Buu was sleeping, but Mr. Satan shook him awake and brought him. Master Roshi was there too, looking more serious than he had in years. Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha arrived last. They all looked at Piccolo. What is happening? Krillin asked. Where is Goku? Where is Vegeta? Piccolo looked at them with grim eyes. They are gone. They went to a place where time does not exist to train, but they are not back yet, and the enemy is here now. We are the only line of defense. Suddenly, a hole opened in the sky above the lookout. It wasn't a portal. It was like the sky just cracked open like an egg. Out of the crack stepped the Grand Priest. He was in his fallen form. He was tall, pale, and had giant black wings. His eyes were black pits of horror. He floated down slowly. He didn't look like he was attacking. He looked like he was visiting a zoo. He landed on the tiles of the lookout. The Z fighters took a step back. The aura coming off him was suffocating. It felt like gravity had increased 100 times. Krillin fell to his knees. I can't breathe, Krillin gasped. The Grand Priest looked at them. He scanned their faces. So, these are the defenders of Earth, he said. His voice was smooth but terrifying. And a Namekian, a few half-breeds, some androids, and a fat pink blob. How pathetic. He looked at Gohan. You have the look of your father, the Grand Priest said. You must be Son Gohan. Gohan stepped forward. He took off his glasses and crushed them in his hand. He powered up. A white aura burst around him. This was his ultimate form. Leave this planet, Gohan shouted. We won't let you touch it. The Grand Priest laughed softly. You won't let me. I do not need your permission, boy. I am here to erase this entire universe. But since I have some time before my destruction ball arrives, I thought I would have some fun. I want to see if the son is as annoying as the father. Gohan didn't wait. He charged at the Grand Priest. He moved faster than he ever had before. He threw a punch aimed at the Grand Priest's face. The Grand Priest didn't move his hands. He just stared at Gohan. Before Gohan's fist could connect, an invisible wall of force stopped him. Bam! Gohan hit the air, and it felt like hitting steel. The Grand Priest smiled, weak. He looked at the shadows on the ground. Rise, my servants, he commanded. The shadows on the floor of the lookout started to bubble and boil. They rose up and took the shape of warriors. They were black, faceless shadow creatures. There were hundreds of them. They looked like ninjas made of ink. Kill them, the Grand Priest ordered. The shadow creatures screeched and charged at the Z fighters. Piccolo shouted, Defend the lookout. Don't let them get past us. The battle began. It was chaos. Trunks and Goten went Super Saiyan instantly. They flew into the crowd of shadows, punching and kicking. But the shadows were fast. And when they were hit, they didn't bleed. They just reformed. Android 17 generated a green energy shield to protect 18 and Krillin from a blast of dark energy. 18 threw rapid-fire energy blasts, clearing a path. Master Roshi went into his buff form, swinging his staff, knocking shadows off the edge of the lookout. But the Grand Priest just stood there, watching. He was not fighting. He was watching Gohan. Gohan was fighting 5 shadow creatures at once. He was strong, but he was distracted by the monster standing in front of him. Gohan knew that even if they beat these shadows, they couldn't beat the Grand Priest. He needed a miracle. He needed his dad. Back in the void of timelessness, time was a strange thing. Goku and Vegeta had been sitting for what felt like hours, but it could have been days, or maybe just seconds. Their minds were racing. Goku was thinking about the fight. He was replaying every punch he threw at the Grand Priest. Why didn't it work? Why was he so slow? He thought about Ultra Instinct. It was a technique of the angels, but the Grand Priest was the father of angels. Of course he knew how to beat it. Goku realized he couldn't just use the same old tricks. He couldn't just get stronger. He had to change the way he fought. Vegeta was having a different battle. He was fighting his pride. He was angry that he had to run away. He was angry that he needed Kakarot to fuse. He was angry that he was weak. In the silence of the void, his anger was loud. It was screaming in his head. "Shut up," Vegeta yelled out loud. His voice fell flat in the white nothingness. He stood up. He was sweating. "This is useless. Sitting here is doing nothing. We need to fight. Kakarot, get up. Fight me." Goku opened his eyes. He looked at Vegeta. Vegeta looked like he was about to explode. Goku stood up slowly. "You're right," Goku said. "We can't just sit. We need to push our bodies until they break, and then push them again." Goku got into his fighting stance. But we can't transform, Goku said. Vegeta looked confused. What? Why? Goku pointed at his chest. If we transform now, we will burn out our energy too fast. We have 1,000 years. We need to learn how to be strong in our base forms. We need to make our base forms as strong as Super Saiyan Blue. Vegeta scoffed. That's impossible. Goku smiled. We have 1,000 years to make it possible. Come on, Vegeta. Show me what you got. Vegeta didn't hesitate. He charged at Goku. He threw a punch. Goku caught it. They started to trade blows. At first it was slow. They were tired. But then the rhythm took over. Punch, kick, block, dodge. In the endless white void, two warriors danced the dance of violence. They fought without stopping. They fought until their muscles burned. They fought until they couldn't lift their arms. And then they fought some more. Outside, in the vacuum of space, the giant black ball of destruction was getting closer to the solar system. It passed by Pluto. The tiny planet crumbled into dust just from the gravity of the ball. It passed by Neptune. The gas giant was sucked into the ball and vanished. Whis and the other angels were floating in the path of the ball. They were weak, but they were together. Whis looked at Vados, Margarita, and the others. Brothers, sisters, Whis said, we cannot stop this ball with power. We don't have enough left, but we can stop it with our essence. Vados looked at Whis with sad eyes. You mean sacrifice? She asked. Whis nodded. If we give up our physical forms and become pure energy, we can create a barrier that might hold it back. It won't stop it forever, but it might give Goku enough time. Korn stepped forward. I agree, Korn said. The Grand Priest has shamed us. We must redeem our existence. The angels held hands. They formed a chain across the darkness of space. They closed their eyes. Their bodies began to glow. They glowed brighter and brighter until they were no longer people. They were just streaks of brilliant, holy light. The light merged together into a giant golden net. The net stretched across the solar system. It was a final, desperate shield. The black ball of destruction hit the golden net. The impact was silent in space, but the visual was terrifying. The black darkness pushed against the golden light. The net bent. It stretched. It started to tear, but it held. The black ball stopped moving forward. It was stuck in the angelic web. But the black energy began to eat away at the gold. It was a ticking clock. The angels were burning their very souls to buy time. Back on the lookout, the battle was getting worse. The shadow creatures were endless. For every one they destroyed, two more rose from the floor. Yamcha was on the ground, holding his leg. A shadow creature had bitten him. Tien was using his tri-beam, firing blast after blast, but he was running out of energy. Krillin was back-to-back with Android 18. They were fighting perfectly together, but they were tired. Gohan was the only one making progress. He had powered up to his limit. His aura was huge. He was blasting shadow creatures away with waves of power. He looked at the Grand Priest. Why don't you fight me yourself? Gohan yelled. Are you scared? The Grand Priest looked at Gohan. He raised an eyebrow. Scared? Of a mortal? You are amusing. Very well. If you want to die so badly, I will oblige. The Grand Priest lifted one finger. A small beam of black light shot out. It was fast, faster than light. Gohan saw it coming, but he couldn't dodge. He crossed his arms to block. The beam hit his arms. Crack! The sound of bones breaking echoed across the lookout. Gohan screamed. He flew back and crashed into the temple wall. The wall collapsed on top of him. Gohan! Piccolo yelled. Piccolo tried to run to him, but a shadow creature tackled him. The Grand Priest lowered his finger. Disappointing, he said. He looked at the sky. He could sense that his destruction ball had stopped. He frowned. What is this? He looked deeper into space with his god eyes. He saw the golden net of the angels. He saw his children sacrificing themselves. His frown turned into a snarl. Stupid children, he spat. You think you can stop the inevitable? You are just delaying the end by a few minutes. He looked back at the Z fighters. I am bored with this game. It is time to finish you all. He raised his hand to the sky. The clouds swirled. Purple lightning struck the lookout. The tiles exploded. The Z fighters were thrown into the air. The Grand Priest began to charge a massive blast. I will blow this planet up myself, he declared. Suddenly, the rubble where Gohan had crashed exploded outward. A pillar of white light shot up into the sky. It was huge. It was wild. The Grand Priest paused. He looked at the light. Out of the light walked Gohan. His arms were broken, hanging loosely by his sides, but his eyes were different. They were red. His hair had turned silver. A massive, jagged aura of purple and white lightning surrounded him. He was in his beast form, but he was hurt. He was fighting on instinct alone. Gohan looked at the Grand Priest. He didn't say a word. He just screamed. It was a primal roar. He charged at the Grand Priest without using his arms. He used his legs. He kicked the air, creating a shockwave that blew the shadow creatures away. He appeared in front of the Grand Priest and delivered a massive kick to the Grand Priest's chest. The Grand Priest blocked it with his forearm, but he slid back a few inches. The Grand Priest looked surprised. Oh, a transformation born of rage? How interesting. Gohan spun around and tried to kick again. The Grand Priest dodged. Gohan headbutted the Grand Priest. It was a desperate move. It hit the Grand Priest in the nose. The Grand Priest stumbled back. He touched his nose. It was red. You little brat, the Grand Priest hissed. His eyes glowed red. He grabbed Gohan by the throat. He lifted him up. You have spirit, but spirit does not beat divinity. He started to squeeze Gohan's throat. Gohan kicked and struggled, but his broken arms were useless. He couldn't breathe. The beast aura started to fade. Piccolo screamed, "Leave him alone!" Piccolo fired a special beam cannon. The beam hit the Grand Priest in the back of the head. It did nothing. It just fizzled out. The Grand Priest didn't even turn around. He just waved his other hand, and Piccolo was blasted off the lookout, falling toward the earth below. Piccolo! Gohan choked out. Tears streamed down his face. He was helpless. He was going to die, and then everyone else would die. In the void of timelessness, 100 years had passed. To the outside world, it had been a fraction of a second, but for Goku and Vegeta, it had been a century. They had not aged physically, thanks to the magic of the void, but their minds were older. Their eyes were sharper. Their clothes were tattered rags. They were still in their base forms. They were sitting opposite each other, floating in the air. They were not fighting. They were meditating. They had realized that fighting constantly was not the answer. They had to understand the nature of the Grand Priest's power. His power wasn't just strength. It was control. Absolute control over reality. To beat him, they had to stop being part of reality. They had to become the void. Goku opened his eyes. They were not black anymore. They were a permanent silver. Not the transformation. His base eyes were silver. He had absorbed the essence of Ultra Instinct into his normal state. Vegeta opened his eyes. They were a deep, dark purple. He had absorbed the power of destruction into his soul. They looked at each other. They didn't need to speak. They had a telepathic bond now, forged by a century of silence. We are ready for the next step, Vegeta's voice echoed in Goku's mind. Goku nodded. The physical training is done. Now, we must unlock the forbidden door. Future Zeno had told them about a secret within the void, a place deeper than the nothingness, a place where the original laws of the multiverse were written. To defeat the one who rewrote the laws, they had to go to the source. Future Zeno floated over. He looked tired. Keeping the dimension stable was hard work. "Are you ready?" Zeno asked. Goku stood up. He stretched his arms. His muscles rippled. They looked denser, harder like diamond. "We are ready, Zeno-chan. Show us the door." Zeno pointed down. "There is no floor, but if you swim down deep enough, you will find the core. But be careful. The core will try to erase you. It only accepts the truth. If there is any lie in your heart, you will vanish forever." Vegeta smirked. "I have faced my demons for 100 years. I have no lies left. I am Vegeta. That is the only truth I need." Goku and Vegeta dove down. They swam through the white nothingness. They went deeper and deeper. The pressure increased. It felt like the ocean was crushing them. But they didn't stop. After what felt like days of swimming, they saw it. A small black cube floating in the white void. It was perfect. It was simple. It was the core. They approached the cube. It started to hum. A voice spoke in their heads. Not a voice of a person, but a voice of the universe. "Who are you?" the voice asked. "I am Son Goku, a Saiyan from Earth," Goku shouted. "I am Vegeta for 4, Prince of all Saiyans," Vegeta shouted. The cube pulsed. "What do you seek?" "We seek the power to protect," Goku said. "We seek the power to destroy evil," Vegeta said. The cube spun. "Power has a price. Are you willing to pay?" "We have already paid," Vegeta yelled. "We have given our lives, our time, our sanity. Give us the power." The cube stopped spinning. It cracked open. A light poured out. It wasn't white or black. It was a color that didn't exist in the human spectrum. It was the color of creation. It engulfed them both. Goku and Vegeta screamed as their bodies were torn apart and put back together, cell by cell. They were being rewritten. They were becoming something new, something beyond mortal, something beyond angel. Back on Earth, the Grand Priest tightened his grip on Gohan's throat. Gohan's eyes were rolling back. The Grand Priest smiled. "Goodbye, boy. Say hello to your father in oblivion." Just as he was about to crush Gohan's windpipe, the Grand Priest froze. He felt something. It was faint, but it was there. A ripple, not in the air, not in the ground. A ripple in the fabric of existence itself. "What is that?" the Grand Priest whispered. He looked around. The other Z fighters felt it too. The shadow creatures stopped moving. The air on the lookout started to vibrate. A low hum filled the world. It sounded like a giant bell ringing in the distance. The portal that future Zeno had opened, the one that had closed. It appeared again, but it didn't open. It shattered. It broke like glass, and from the shattered remains of the portal, 2 footsteps echoed. Thud, thud. The Grand Priest dropped Gohan. Gohan fell to the ground, gasping for air. The Grand Priest stared at the spot where the portal used to be. Mist began to pour out. White mist. And then 2 figures walked out of the mist. They were wearing new clothes, clothes made of the void itself, grey and simple. They were not glowing. They had no aura. They looked completely normal, but their presence was terrifying. The Grand Priest took a step back. It was the first time he had stepped back in fear. Goku and Vegeta stood there. They looked at the Grand Priest. Their expressions were calm, unnaturally calm. "You kept us waiting," Goku said. His voice echoed, sounding like it was coming from everywhere at once. "We hope you didn't break our toys while we were gone," Vegeta said, looking at the injured Z fighters. The Grand Priest laughed nervously. You came back?" It has only been 10 minutes. You cannot have gained any power in 10 minutes. You are bluffing. Goku looked at Vegeta. Should we show him? Vegeta cracked his neck. Let's show him what 100 years of hell looks like. Goku and Vegeta did not power up. They simply walked toward the Grand Priest. The shadow creatures screeched and jumped at them. Goku didn't even look. He just walked. As the shadows touched him, they evaporated. They turned into nothing. Vegeta did the same. He walked through the army of shadows like they were smoke. The Grand Priest's eyes went wide. Creation energy, he whispered. No, that is impossible. Only the Omni-King possesses creation energy. Goku stopped in front of the Grand Priest. He looked him in the eye. You stole the Omni-King's power, Goku said. But you didn't earn it. You just took it. Vegeta stood next to Goku. We earned ours, Vegeta said. Every single drop. The Grand Priest roared. I am the Supreme God. He threw a punch at Goku's face. A punch that could shatter a universe. Goku caught the punch. He caught it with one finger. The shockwave destroyed the rest of the lookout's tiles, but Goku didn't move. He held the Grand Priest's fist with his index finger. Is that it? Goku asked. The Grand Priest pulled his hand back. He was shaking. Impossible. He fired a blast of destruction energy at Vegeta. Point-blank range. Vegeta opened his mouth and ate the blast. He literally bit the energy, chewed it, and swallowed it. Burp. Tastes like cheap fireworks, Vegeta said. The Grand Priest backed away. He was terrified. What are you? What are you? We are the guardians of the timeline, Goku said. We are the punishment for your sins, Vegeta added. The Grand Priest screamed and powered up to his maximum. His fallen form grew larger. The darkness covered the sun. If I cannot beat you, I will destroy everything. He summoned the destruction ball from space. He pulled it towards Earth. The angel's net broke. The giant ball came crashing down through the atmosphere. The sky turned fire red. The ball was going to hit Earth in seconds. Goku looked up. That thing is annoying. Vegeta nodded. Shall we? Together, they raised their hands. They didn't fire a beam. They didn't scream. They just pushed their palms upward. A wave of invisible force shot up. It hit the destruction ball. The ball didn't explode. It didn't bounce back. It just erased. It vanished from existence. 1 second it was there. The next it was gone. The Grand Priest fell to his knees. My power. My ultimate attack. Gone. Goku walked up to the Grand Priest. He placed his hand on the Grand Priest's shoulder. It's over, Daishinkan. Your rebellion ends now. The Grand Priest looked up. His eyes were filled with madness. No, it never ends. I am eternal. He suddenly grabbed Goku's arm. His body started to glow with a blinding black light. I will self-destruct. I will take this whole galaxy with me. Vegeta jumped forward. Kakarot. The Grand Priest was turning himself into a living bomb. The energy was building up too fast. Even with their new power, if he exploded right here, Earth would be vaporized. Goku looked at Vegeta. I have to take him away. Vegeta shouted, No, we just got back. Don't you dare do this again. Goku smiled. Take care of things here, Vegeta. You are the protector now. Goku grabbed the Grand Priest tight. Instant transmission. Pop. Goku and the Grand Priest vanished. Vegeta stood alone on the ruined lookout. Kakarot, he screamed. His scream shook the stars. Where did he go? Where did he take him? Far away, in the space between universes, a massive explosion occurred. It was so bright, it could be seen from Earth. A new star appeared in the sky for a brief second, and then faded away. Silence returned to the lookout. The shadow creatures were gone. The sky turned blue again. The birds started singing. But Goku was gone. Vegeta fell to his knees. He punched the ground. That idiot. That noble idiot. Gohan crawled over. Dad. Where is Dad? Vegeta didn't answer. He just looked at the sky. Suddenly, a voice spoke in their heads. Not Goku's voice. It was a cold, mechanical voice. Target eliminated. The Grand Priest is gone. However, the balance is broken. A new Grand Priest must be chosen immediately, or the multiverse will collapse. Vegeta looked up. Who is that? A pillar of light appeared. Inside it was the cosmic cube they had found in the void. It had followed them. The cube spoke. Candidate 1. Son Goku is missing. Candidate 2. Vegeta 4. You are selected. Vegeta stood up. Selected for what? To become the new Grand Priest. Vegeta's eyes went wide. Me, an angel, never. The cube pulsed. It is not a choice. It is a necessity. The multiverse is dissolving. Look. Vegeta looked at the horizon. The edges of the world were starting to fade into white. The reality was falling apart because there was no angel to hold it together. If you do not accept the mantle, everything you fought for will be erased. Your wife, your children, your rival's sacrifice. Vegeta clenched his fists until they bled. He looked at Bulma's house in the distance. He looked at Trunks. He looked at the spot where Goku vanished. Damn it, Vegeta shouted. He walked into the pillar of light. Fine, I will do it. But I will do it my way. The light engulfed Vegeta. His clothes changed. The Saiyan armor disappeared. It was replaced by the blue robes of the Grand Priest. A blue halo appeared around his neck. His hair turned white. His skin turned pale blue. Vegeta floated up. He felt the connection to every universe. He felt the Omni-King's palace. He felt everything. He waved his hand. The fading world stopped. The reality solidified. The damage to the lookout repaired itself. Gohan's arms healed instantly. Vegeta looked down at his hands. He was a god now, a true administrator of the cosmos. But inside, he was still the prince. He looked at the stars. Wherever you are, Kakarot, you better not be dead, because I am coming to find you. And when I do, I will relieve myself of this ridiculous job. Vegeta, the new Grand Priest, floated up into space, leaving a stunned Gohan and the Z fighters behind. The screen fades to black as Vegeta's new blue eyes glow in the darkness. Is Goku truly dead? Can Vegeta handle the responsibility of being the Grand Priest? And what dangers lurk in the space between universes? Find out in the next episode of Dragon Ball Super: The Grand Priest Betrayal.